educational management. This is one of the very interesting subject in this course, and if you really want to relate, understand and learn this subject, you really need to think like an owner. No matter if you are a teacher working in an institution or going to work in a school, but to understand this particular subject, you need to think like an owner. Think as if you are managing a complete institution. It can be a preschool as well or a small classes. So let's start with the meaning of educational management as given by Henry Fayol, and we would be talking more about Henry Fayol and the principles of management in our next video. So to start with the meaning, to manage is to forecast and plan, to organize, to command, to coordinate and to control. So forecast means as we do the weather forecast, will it going to rain tomorrow? So accordingly I will plan, should I take my umbrella or should I keep it in the house? Alright, so forecasting is to look in the future, and accordingly you make your plans and then you organize. And if you are a manager, you would command others. You would want your subordinates to coordinate among themselves, and you would like to have a control over the entire situation. So to manage is to forecast and plan, to organize, to command, to coordinate and to control. So these are the key words, and you can use these words to form the definition given by the Henry Fayol. And we will understand why do we need to learn about educational management, or what exactly educational management is all about. The first thing, as an institution you need to set some goals, set some aim for your institution. Then you have to plan for the progress. How are we going ahead with our goals? Right? What is our implementation process? How do we organize our resources? And how do we improve our standards? So if you are an owner of a school, or you are pretending to be an owner and soon you can be one, you need to set the objectives right. You need to plan your progress. You need to organize your resources. It can be manpower, it can be infrastructure, it can be classrooms, it can be the area, it can be so many of it in terms of resources, and how you will execute the process. How do you implement the things? And how do we increase the quality and improvise the institution? And this is what educational management is all about. So what is the objective, or why are we learning this subject? Maybe we all will never own an institution, but if you want to be a good teacher, if you want to be a good leader, right, you need to know what are the different areas of an institution. So first objective is to understand various functions. So teaching and learning is one of the very important functions, but that is not the only function in this institution. So there are other functions as well to improve the planning, organizing and implementing process. Yes, so planning, organizing, for example an event need not be a direct learning experience, but it is so much to do with the planning, to organize an event and to implement what we have planned, to develop an understanding of roles and functions of an educational manager. So what is a manager? Schools may not have this term as manager, but there are people who are managing the entire school. They are called as the management of the school, or maybe the board of trustees, or even the principal can be a good manager. Yes, so we need to understand what are the roles and functions of these managers or leaders of a school, to learn about effective management of human and material resources. When we talk about resources, we are not only talking about human resources, which can be your staff members, but also the material. How much material are we using? Are we using it properly? So appropriate utilization of human resources as well as material resources it can be. So teaching and non-teaching staff. Alright, are my didis or are the maushis working properly? Are my teachers been given proper responsibilities? Are they capable in executing them? Whom should I promote? Right? Who is capable of handling an event, for example? So all this is a utilization and appropriate utilization, and this is a duty of an manager. To avoid duplication of work. Oh, exactly. When you have so many people in an organization, you need to understand and give responsibility to the people who really deserve it. and not to duplicate them or not to give the same kind of work to people, to help staff and students manage interpersonal conflicts. So it can be students as well, they are also part of the school. So conflict resolution is another quality that we are looking at, to create, maintain or enhance the public image of an institution. So you are not only thinking in the four walls or the campus, but you are also talking about the image of an institution. To enhance efficiency of the institutions, how efficient your institution is. Efficiency means less input and more work or more output to be delivered. If you want to decrease an efficiency of somebody, tell them to write the things 4 times, 5 times, and you are decreasing the productivity and the efficiency. Right? So these kind of works you shouldn't be giving. Attend goals with minimum cost and time. So with minimum resources, how can we achieve our goals? And that is all management is all about. So these are the objectives of educational management. Now we'll talk about importance of educational management. Now how these two are different. Objective means what are we going to learn or what do we achieve after learning it, and importance is how is going to benefit us, right? How is this educational management is going to help us. So that is importance of educational management. First thing is helps to maintain school records, financing and budgeting. As we said, the functions, so as we can correlate between the 2 points, so functions not only the academic functions, we're talking about record keeping. You have to answer to the education department of the government. Even the financing, your CA, yes, the IT, they will have to need the finances and budgeting in place. Helps in communication and managing information, right? So it can be people who are outside the institution or also people who are inside the institution. You have principal, you have teachers, you have subordinates, you have got support staff, you have got management. So how do we communicate between all of these layers in the institution? That is the communication that we're talking about. Helps in curriculum making. So now coming to the academic point of view also, the curriculum making, the co-curricular, the timetable and the discipline, how do we manage that? Optimum utilization of resources. As we earlier saw in the point there, in the 5th point there, appropriate utilization of human resources. Yes, the same point goes here, optimum utilization of resources. How do we handle our resources well? Good management makes a difficult task easier by avoiding wastage, right? How do we cut down on the use of paper, use of extra resources, or something which is a wastage? How do we reduce the wastage and increase the productivity? Managing conflict and stress. So you see there are points who are interchangeably we can use under the 2 headings. So objectives and also the importance of educational management. Helpful in motivating staff and students, building effective team. Helpful in creating healthy and conducive school climate. So when you enter a school, you need to have a positive vibes. You need to feel good about it, and that is what is the climate or the atmosphere is. If the principal is really cruel, if the principal is too strict, if the teachers are too strict, and then the students are cranky, they don't love to come to schools, and that is the climate that we are talking about. Even the parents would complain in that scenario. So creating a very conducive environment in the school, it helps in achieving goals. And when you have a positive atmosphere through educational management and your skills, you would be in that chair sitting and managing the entire institution. And soon in the next video we'll be learning about Henry Fayol and the principles of management to help you understand an institution as a whole and how as a manager you can really handle a complete school. If you are a teacher, still think like an owner. We don't know what the future awaits for you. Thanks for watching and keep tuned for the principles of management by Henry Fayol in our next video.